Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name's Joe.
I'm Rusty.
This is SPX 2018
Oh, yeah.
with us.
A reminder,
Yeah,
where
whatever.
we are.
What year?
SPX 2018.
And who's hanging out with us right now?
Yeah,
Hi.
who's this?
Hi, I'm Kat Fajardo.
What, do you have a DJ name?
Maybe Meowmix.
Oh,
DJ
Good.
Meowmix.
DJ Meowmix.
One day.
I say that because she destroyed the prom last night.
She killed it.
I mean, look, we were already coasting on the cool tunes of DJ Ivan.
Yep.
He might have a better
Yeah, he's
DJ name
great.
than I apologize if he does. I've just mislabeled
We'll check
you.
in with him later on that.
But then Kat showed up, and it was late enough that people should not care, and she just threw him into the fire.
Oh.
Yes.
And it was a great time. And then it was great, and it was fun, but then at the end, Rusty found out that it wasn't, in fact, your first time DJing.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
It was.
So I have to ask, what's with the bravado where someone's like, hey, do you want to DJ this thing with a bunch of people around? And you're like, I've never done it, so yes.
I'm very ambitious in that sense where I have to just go all out if I'm going to do something for the first time. So I just bought a mixer. I'm like, all right, I've always wanted to learn how to DJ, so this is a good time, especially for my comics
That's perfect.
friends. Yeah.
Did you learn a lot?
And you were around friends, so it was a good opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. They're all dancing on the dance floor, took off their shoes. It was great.
Did you learn a lot last night?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, I mean, Ivan did a really good job of warming up the whole place. So and he was there to help me with equipment because I am not equipment savvy just yet. So
What I really liked about Ivan was how greatly enthusiastic he was.
oh yeah.
Yes.
He was just so happy and was just full on the whole night.
Oh yeah, just dancing next to me. That was fucking
Every
great.
time I look over, you guys were just both dancing behind the table and
Yeah.
just like cranking it out.
Yeah, he was a great dance partner. So.
So in addition to musical time, you also make comics?
Yeah, we've heard you also work on comic stuff.
I think I do make comics.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if that was unfounded rumor.
Yeah.
I didn't want to accuse you of anything.
No, it is true. I
Okay,
confirm
thank
it
goodness.
right here. It's confirmed. Yeah, I make comics, zines, and I'm working on a graphic novel right now with Scholastic.
Nice.
So very excited. But yeah, I make a lot of I make work basically on like self-acceptance and Latinx culture, just the fun stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And you worked on the benefit book too, didn't you?
yeah, the Comics for Choice.
Mm-hmm.
I worked with a writer, and I think it's the first story found in the anthology. And I also, at the same time, edited La Raza Anthology, which is a Latin American, collection of Latin American, stories, like short stories, comics, illustrations, poems, just art, basically, all in one place. And we got contributors from from Mexico, the U.S., Puerto Rico, Argentina, Brazil, all over. So it was really ambitious, but also really a rewarding project.
Well, it paid off, so yeah.
Yeah, it paid off. yeah. I was surprised that it was even considered to be on the Ignatz nomination list.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Why? What happened?
No.
What happened?
No. It was nominated, and I feel blessed, and it's great. But that whole nomination list was fire. So I was happy with whatever the results were.
And what were the results?
Oh, the Comics for Choice one.
Ah.
Yeah, which is great because it's a great book. So
Because you were part of that, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You had the game in your
I was
pocket.
gonna say, you kind of stacked that
That's what I'm
category.
saying.
No, I only drew the drawing. I only drew the comic. I don't really. Oh, I don't know.
You gamed the system. You said, guess what, fellows? I'm going to be in every book that gets nominated.
Yeah. Who'd you
It's
vote for?
already-
Doesn't matter.
It's already printed. You're submitting stories.
Right.
You're just binding them in the back. Get a piece of that brick.
Yeah. Well, just 1/16 of a brick. So.
That's all right.
You know what? That's still a full brick for a small house.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, yeah.
Oh, that's some deep SPX wisdom right there.
So I guess what kind of led you doing comics as a form of creativity?
Oh, what was the question?
Sorry, what led you to doing comics as a form of creativity?
I'm a very stressful person by nature, so for me, comics and even diary comics is a form of therapy. And I'm not really good with words, so it's kind of great to kind of have a place where I don't need to worry about a filter and just kind of spill any secrets, any like feelings I had, and just into like a comic form, and then I can decide whether or not I want to publish it. But yeah, it's a very therapeutic form. Yeah, which I love.
How long have you been making comics?
I've been making comics for let's see, I graduated from SBA in 2013. So around that time, since 2013.
However many, whenever you're watching
this,
this, she's been making comics since 2013. Pull up the calculator on the computer or your phone and just do this subtraction.
I'm an artist. I don't need to do math. That's my
No,
rule.
you guys handle that part.
No one's asking you if they are. They shouldn't. You're not
I'm
here
really
for
bad at
math.
it.
Yeah.
You're here for comics.
Even
Comics
sales.
and the beats.
There are professional mathers for that. All right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I was talking to one earlier. I was like, what about comics? He goes, brother, I don't know about comics. I know about
Not
the
my job."
numbers.
Oh, good.
And I was like, I am so sorry. I'm not trying to draw you out of your lane. And I have done it once again.
Right.
I did not mean to.
Yeah.
That's the wrong people with the wrong
So,
things.
you were at TCAF this year.
Yes.
And there I got from you a picture of myself as a monster.
That's right.
Yes.
Both of you, right?
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rusty
that's
was
fun.
a raccoon monster.
In the digital version of this, we'll put pictures right here.
Okay, that's more
Yeah.
responsibility for me, but yeah, sure. All right,
Yeah.
I'll add
Oh,
it
they
into
Joe
look-
can do it.
They look great.
No, they did look great. They were great, but
They're so good.
but what I appreciate about that is it's kind of like an off-the-cuff creative challenge that you kind of give yourself.
Yeah.
What is it that you like about something like that, where somebody can come up and just give you some qualifications or some ideas, and then you make something out of it?
That's a good question, because I feel like I don't like being put on the spot in terms of just like challenges like that, like commissions. But for some reason, it's being at like a convention and tabling. It's kind of it becomes stressful and overwhelming. So it's a nice way to like kind of just relax and just focus on doing commissions and not have to worry about like numbers. Because again, I'm an artist, so I'm not really good at numbers, but it's a nice challenge. I just like doing it.
And I like that you almost have like that kind of self-imposed role too, where it's not just being put on the total random spot,
Right.
Keeping
right.
it in a category like doing monsters.
Yeah.
Then you can at least have ideas to work from.
Yeah, because I also don't watch a lot of cartoons or like movies. So if someone's like, "Hey, can you do like a reference to this or that?" I'm like, "I'll try,"
know.
but I have no Wi-Fi.
Let's see what the internet says.
So, like, I think what you could do in that way, if you find yourself faced with that, is to do it poorly.
That's
You know,
true.
like, hey, can
And then
you
they
draw
learn.
me as this character from this cartoon? You don't know what that
I'll
looks
try
like?
it, yeah.
So draw like whatever you want.
Yeah.
And they'll show up, and you'll be like, okay, already got your dollar, son.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
That's what you get.
I'll try it next time.
Yeah. Well, see, the reason I think that might work for you is because there's not really a Yelp for artists. Otherwise, it could crash your rating.
Oh my God, yeah, that would be really bad.
Yeah. I don't want to add to your stress. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine.
So have you been to SPX before?
I have since college.
So whenever
Yeah.
she went to college, just
Please do the math.
up and do the math. That's how long she's been coming to
Yep.
SPX.
Yeah.
What do you like about the show?
I feel like every year gets bigger, and there's so many. I feel like I know double the amount of people in the industry every year. So when I go, it's like a friend fest, Yeah, it's really great. And then I like to support like small artists and zines and really cool weird stuff. So this is the place for that. I can't find that at like Midtown Comics or any comic shop. So this is I love the show. Yeah.
So you're here for it's like a friends fest. But what about enemies? Are there any nemesis that you come here to face
Anybody
off
want
with?
to call out?
Oh no.
Yeah. Who are we
Listen.
shouting out in the
Put 'em on
back?
blast.
I guess the opposite of shout out's like a shout at.
Shout
So
out.
who do you want to shout at? Calling anybody out?
No.
Going right to the streets?
I try not to make enemies. I try to make friends only, even if they do me wrong. But
That's all right. Rise above it.
Yeah, it's a very small industry, so it gets really uncomfortable.
I'll be honest, that's a dangerous line of questioning because I'm just joking. But what if you really did and you're like, you know what? Good
You know
point.
what?
Here we go.
Let me tell
Damn
you
right.
guys.
Let's drop the hammer upon them right now.
I know some friends who would. So.
Yeah.
Do you have a copy of the program guide over there?
Sure do, somewhere. Let's do it. Yeah, I got it right
I
here.
thought we did. There it is.
Why are you going to pull that? We can just put the art on the screen.
Oh yeah, we could digitally do
Yeah,
this.
so like
but-
you show it, and then I'll pop it on. Boom.
and that would be nice on the screen.
So you did the cover of our program.
Yes, this turned out beautifully.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
So what
yeah.
what gave you the inspiration for that design with the temple god?
Oh, so it's actually a homage or homage, however you say it, however anyone say it, of the Mayan ruins in my family's homeland, Honduras.
Oh,
and
wow.
so it's called the Copan Ruins, and since yesterday was the first day of the Hispanic or Latino Heritage Month, I wanted to do like a shout out to the heritage, and there's like little drawings in the carvings of like friends and favorite publishers and comic artists. So it's like a nice shout out to them as well, because I feel like they and everyone in this show just is a good example of our community and how like helpful it is and how we support each other. And so it's like a love letter to SPX basically, and also like heritage.
And it's funny because we noticed that when we first saw your art that it just looks pretty, and then when you start to look further and further into it, it was like there's levels. And we're like,
Yeah.
oh wow.
There was going to be
all the
more too, but I'm like,
references
that might be
and-
too much.
I liked how it was a good
Thank you.
it was a good piece of art on its own, but because of that kind of meaning into it, it also works really well as a cover to the program for the show, which
Yeah.
encapsulates the people and events that kind of make up what's going to be happening.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
so in other words, good job.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for
You nailed
having me do it.
You nailed it.
Thank
Don't disappoint us next time.
Oh, no.
You've set a bar.
I've been banned by SPX.
You know what she did? She did a piece of art for us that wasn't as good as the other piece of art that she did. So we had to throw her out.
And it's hard because every year, like, the cover just gets even gorgeous and like oh, so good. So I felt like I had to set my standards high for me, and it was a lot of pressure on
Yeah.
myself.
Well, I'm sorry.
I'm glad you're okay now.
Because this sounds incredibly traumatic.
Yeah.
Again, I'm a stressful person by nature, so I do this to myself.
Well, well, Meowmix, I don't mean to add to your stress, but this is the time. This is the precipice we must cross.
Okay.
Are you ready to answer a mystery question?
Woo! All right, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if you had said no, I don't know where we would have gone.
Oh.
I don't know. That's uncharted territory.
Oh no, this is interesting. All right.
All right. Grab
Woo! Should I?
Yeah, like all the way around. You have the plunk. Got it.
Woo. All right.
They can be a little tough.
There we go.
There you go.
What's your question?
Which letter of the alphabet are you just about done with?
Like you've had it with a letter. Which one?
I guess Z, because it takes a while to get to it.
That's true. By the time you're there,
But
it's like,
I'm just like, I'm
whatever.
already done.
All right, now, moving on to numbers.
What I appreciate about your disdain for the letter Z, or Z is in
Or
other
Z.
languages, is that it has nothing to do with it. Like, it didn't ask to be at the end
No.
of our alphabet, and yet you blame it. You take
Maybe
your
I should blame
frustration.
the A, because it starts with the A.
That's true.
Who is audacious enough to be like, you know what, guys, I'm going to start off the building blocks of our entire language. I got it. I'll start the trail.
There's a
You guys-
reason audacious starts with A.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that makes sense.
there you have it. I changed my answer. It's A.
I did not mean to throw A under the bus,
A's
but
just
I'm
a
happy.
jerk.
I'm happy Z is in shielded from this
Z,
wrath.
Z, you're okay. You're all right.
He's misunderstood.
You're
That's
right.
all it is.
So obviously you have a SoundCloud for all your mixes,
Uh-huh.
but do you have a website that might have more information about your comic work?
Yes, it is katfajardo.com. I'm also on the Instagrams and Twitters as at catfcomics with an X at the end. Yeah, you can find some stuff there.
Now,
Yeah.
should people do that?
I'm sorry?
Should they do that? Should they look for you?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not, only the friends, not the enemies.
I mean,
Yeah, only
Yeah.
friends.
if you don't buy a salesperson who says probably, then I don't know what else you're looking for.
If your name starts with an A, get out.
You're
The
out.
hell with you.
You are done.
There's plenty of other comics for you.
Z names, you're welcome.
Yeah.
This is a safe space for Z names.
Well, thank you so much for talking with us.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks.